Welcome to the next episode of the CyberShift podcast, where we help business leaders stay ahead of the curve in technology, cybersecurity, and IT strategy. Today, we're diving into something really critical, the tech that's finally poised to replace the password. We've all been there, haven't we? Talking about strong passwords, MFA. But the reality, sticky notes, reused logins, those really clever phishing emails, it's just not working anymore. For our clients, we need to be clear, the password system is fundamentally broken. The risk is just too high, everyone's tired of managing them, and frankly, the IT cost adds up. But there's really good news. The solution is becoming mainstream, and Microsoft is driving it hard right into Windows 11.
Exactly. And that solution is called Passkeys. This isn't some future maybe. Microsoft is actively building this into Windows 11 right now. It's moving from a niche tech to basically a core security feature for everyone. Honestly, this is probably the biggest shift in how we handle business security since MFA became common maybe a decade back. It changes everything about the threats we face.
Okay, let's really unpack that for everyone listening. When you hear passkey, don't just think, oh, another complicated password. It's totally different. Maybe think of it more like a unique digital lock and key pair. One that lives right on your computer or phone, and it's just vastly more secure than any password you could ever think up or type in.
That's precisely the point. A passkey isn't a secret you remember. It's proof you own the device. Technically, it's based on strong cryptography standards, FIDO2, WebAuthn. So instead of typing a password, you use your device, say, your Windows 11 laptop, and unlock it with something simple and secure, like your face with Windows Hello, your fingerprint, or even just a PN that's tied only to that specific device.
Okay, so how does that actually stop the bad guys? What's the mechanics behind it?
It boils down to a two-part system. It's designed to be phishing-proof from the ground up. First, there's the public key. Think of that as the lock. The website or service, like your Microsoft 365 account, stores this public key. Then there's the private key. This is the actual key and the critical part. It's created and stored securely only on your physical device. It's encrypted, protected by the system's secure hardware, and it never, ever leaves that device.
Right, never leaves the device. That sounds like the key difference.
It is. When you log in, your device uses your face or fingerprint to confirm it's you. Then, it uses that private key to perform a cryptographic handshake, essentially proving to the website's public key that it holds the matching private key.
But the private key itself isn't transmitted.
Never. It stays put, which means there's literally nothing for a phisher to steal. An employee can't accidentally type it into a fake website because they never type it. They just use their fingerprint or face scan.
So that just shuts down credential phishing, the #1 attack vector.
Technologically, yes. It eliminates that vulnerability entirely. It's not just an improvement, it's a fundamental protection baked in.
And that's why the Windows 11 integration is such a big deal now, because it makes this usable.
Exactly. Before, trying to get passkeys working reliably in a business setting, especially on Windows, well, it was often clunky. You might have needed special hardware keys, or the setup was complicated. There was friction.
And friction kills security adoption, right? If it's hard, people won't use it, or they'll constantly need IT help.
Precisely. But these new Windows 11 updates are smoothing all that out. Passkeys are becoming a native part of the OS. Users can create them, manage them, use them, all right from the standard Windows settings. This moves the control from individual apps up to the operating system level, which is much better for IT management.
Okay, but wait, if Microsoft builds this right into Windows, what about lock-in? Lots of businesses use tools like 1Password or other managers. Do they have to ditch those now? That sounds like a huge migration headache.
That's a really important question, and it seems Microsoft has thought about it. They're emphasizing interoperability. They're actively working with major password manager companies, like 1Password you mentioned, and releasing tools. The goal is to make sure passkeys created in Windows work smoothly with existing standards-compliant tools.
Ah, okay. So businesses can adopt this new, better authentication without necessarily having to rip and replace their current password management infrastructure overnight.
That seems to be the strategy. Allow for a transition, leverage existing tools where possible.
That definitely signals Microsoft is serious about moving beyond passwords for everyone, not just locking people into their ecosystem.
Yeah.
And you see it with their own Authenticator app too, right? They're pushing passkeys there as well.
Yes, they're phasing out traditional password management features in Authenticator in favor of passkeys. The writing is on the wall for passwords.
Which brings us straight to why this matters so much for small and medium-sized businesses right now.
Right. This isn't just some tech update. It's potentially a huge strategic and economic win. It tackles 3 really big, expensive problems.
Okay, let's hit problem number 1, phishing risk. We know the tech makes phishing for credentials impossible, but think about the policy impact. If employees can't give away credentials they don't know or type, does that mean we can finally get rid of things like mandatory 90-day password changes? Those complex rules everyone hates.
That's a massive potential benefit. Eliminating those policies doesn't just make employees happier, it saves real time for HR, for compliance, for IT.
Okay, benefit 2.
Productivity.
Yeah.
Think about your IT help desk. How many calls or tickets are just, I forgot my password?
Way too many. It's constant.
Exactly. Studies consistently show it's one of the biggest drains on IT time, and it adds almost no real value. Passkeys use something you have your device and something you are your biometrics. People don't usually forget their face or fingerprint, so those forgot password tickets, they should practically vanish. IT teams can focus on stuff that actually moves the business forward.
That alone sounds like a huge ROI. And the third benefit?
Simplifying security itself. For years, the most secure option, like a super complex password, was also the biggest pain for the user.
Right, like that P at Toward 123 example, secure maybe, but impossible to remember and awful to type.
Passkeys completely flip that. The most secure way to log in a quick face scan, a fingerprint touch, is now also the easiest way.
So the path of least resistance becomes the path of maximum security. That's elegant, actually.
It aligns security goals with user convenience, which is always the holy grail in cybersecurity adoption.
Okay, the benefits are clear, but making this shift requires planning.
Definitely. These Windows 11 features are in preview now, rolling out more broadly soon, so the time for businesses to strategize is now.
Because moving an entire organization off passwords, dealing with older apps, different user needs, that won't happen instantly. It needs a roadmap.
Absolutely. And part of that roadmap has to address a major operational shift this introduces, with device management. Remember, the private key, the thing that grants access, is tied securely to the physical device.
Okay, so what happens when that device is lost? Or stolen? Or just breaks? Or it's time for an upgrade after 2 or 3 years?
Precisely. If that private key is locked onto that specific piece of hardware, and the hardware is gone or dead, the employee potentially loses access to everything secured by it.
That's a big change from just getting a new laptop and typing in your old password.
It completely changes the game for IT asset management and recovery.
So if the private key is stuck on a broken laptop or we issue a new machine, what's the plan? How do businesses handle recovery securely?
This is where new strategies are essential. Businesses will need robust, secure methods for backing up these passkeys or enabling recovery, likely through enterprise management solutions, possibly cloud-based, that allow for secure restoration of access without compromising that core device-centric security. It forces a much tighter link between managing your hardware assets and managing user identities and access. Think about onboarding and offboarding too.
That integration between physical IT assets and digital identity becomes paramount. Wow, okay, this is clearly the direction things are heading. It's complex, but ultimately much more secure. Our role here at Cybershift Technologies is obviously to help businesses navigate this transition effectively.
As you start that planning process, here's something critical to consider. If secure access is now fundamentally tied to having a working secure device plus the user's biometrics, how does that shift where you need to invest your security budget? Does it mean prioritizing higher quality, more reliable devices, faster replacement cycles? Because now hardware downtime doesn't just mean lost productivity, it means complete access downtime for that employee. Understanding and budgeting for that direct link between hardware health and access continuity, that's probably the defining challenge and opportunity of this new password-free era.
Thank you for listening to the Cybershift podcast. We hope you enjoyed this episode. If you'd like to stay up to date on all things Cybershift Technologies, make sure to subscribe to our podcast and join the newsletter on cybershift.com. Have a great day.